not working. Good afternoon, all of you. Only 6 members, all of you. Inform to your friends, Nana. Only 6 members are there. So we'll discuss about the graphs of the trigonometric functions. Graphs of trigonometric functions. Good afternoon, all of you. As you informed your friends, so just basic ideas, Nana. So that is graphs of the trigonometric functions, general graphs. So first graph is f of x equal to, suppose sin x is there. So you know that, but once again we revise all those the points. So domain of the sine function. So first write the graph of sin x. X-axis and this is y-axis. And the value origin it is. So just I am rewrite the y equal to one line I am doing. I am drawing the y equal to one line first. This is on y-axis as 1 unit. And similarly this is as to -1. So this is about the -1 and this is about the point as 1. So the graph is as the points 0 to pi by 2 and then take the value some as real numbers and 3 pi by 2 and 2 pi. Simultaneously this is minus pi by 2, minus pi, So this is minus 3 pi by 2. Okay. So then just to join, sine 0 is 0 and sine 90 is 1. So this is plotting sine pi is 0 and sine 3 pi by 2 is minus 1. Sine 2 pi is 0 and again this is the value sine of minus theta is minus sine theta. Then it is gives you minus 1. Sine pi, sine of minus pi is sine pi is 0, minus 0 means sine 0. Sine 3 pi by 2 nothing but, so it is gives you sine of minus theta is minus sine theta like this. Okay. So like this by joining these points. And here also same. Okay. Yes, write all those, write in the classwork notes only. The graphs mean general basic concept. So that is why we are drawing all graphs. So we observe that. So first point, that is the domain of the function is always, that is meaning that every point on x-axis, that is meaning that belongs to domain of f is all real values, and that the next point is range. So range is equal to minimum value is up to any value, the minimum value reaches up to minus 1 and the maximum value reaches up to only positive 1. So therefore the range is nothing but the output values, that is output values nothing but in the y-axis, y belongs to. Domain values nothing but for every value of x. So that is x belongs to, we can write. So this is x belongs to all values it can take on the x-axis, but y values always lies on the values in between positive value at 1 and minus 1, that's all. So and maximum value of every pi by 2, the value is up to this value is increasing function, and pi by 2 to pi, then it is decreasing, and pi to minus pi to 3 pi by 2, this is also decreasing function, minus pi to 3 pi by 2, and 3 pi by 2 2 pi is also increasing function. Okay, and similarly this is left hand side as it is, then it is also decreasing, 0 to minus pi by 2 is decreasing, and then minus pi by 2 positive minus pi, then it is increasing, and this value increasing and this is decreasing. Okay, like this. So the values for domain of f of x is r, and the range is always lies in the interval minus 1 to plus 1. Okay. Simultaneously, the graph about the y-axis, same thing as the second graph, that is f of x equal to cos x. F of x equal to cos x also. So then the value of the graph also same. So draw the graph of y equal to cos x. So it is meaning that x-axis and then it is also y-axis. The point is obviously 0 origin. Same thing, Nana, just some change is there, the values. So why we have to graph means, let us take some values on like this, then you get the values also. Okay. How to draw the graph means putting the values. So let us, some values you can take, then the values plotting on the graphs. Let us 0 and then pi by 2 and pi and then 3 pi by 2, and here also minus pi by 2 and minus pi. Okay. So cos 0, obviously cos 0 is nothing but y equal to cos x. So cos x, in the place of putting x equal to 0, is nothing but cos 0. Cos 0 obviously it is goes to 1. And cos pi by 2. Cos pi by 2 obviously it is 0. Cos 90 is 0. And then cos of 3 pi by 2. Odd multiples of always it gives you 0 value. So then substitute the values. This is a line of y equal to 1, This is the line of y equal to 1. This is the line y equal to 1. Simultaneously, the line belongs to the line joining. This is the line as to y equal to minus 1. So this is the value obviously 0. Cos 0 nothing but origin. Cos 0 is, this is the value as 1 and this is the value minus 1. Cos 0 obviously then you get the value as 1. And similarly you can take on the y-axis as pi by 2. Another color. Pi by 2 and then pi, 3 pi by 2 and 2 pi. Simultaneously minus pi by 2, minus pi and then minus 3 pi by 2, then minus 2 pi. So cos 0 always, the value y is 1, cos pi by 2 is 0 and cos pi is minus 1, cos 3 pi by 2 is 0, cos 2 pi is plus 1 and then cos minus pi by 2 is 0 and cos pi is minus of minus 1, that is gives you plus 1. 3 pi by 2 is 0 and this is minus 1. Okay, by joining this and then similarly negative direction also you can give the graph. Okay, then it is starting with in the axis, this the point is called as 0, 1 and this is every pi units reaches the decreasing value. So pi by 2 means this 0 to pi by 2 is increasing, pi by 2 0 to 1 to this value is decreasing and minus 1 to this value is increasing. Like this way it is goes, and then the function of the domain value is nothing but all real values and the range is nothing but range equal to always lies in the interval minus 1 comma positive 1. Any value you can take, the values lies in the intervals as y equal to 1 line and y equal to minus 1 line. That's all. Okay, the values is like this. Substituting whatever the values, then you substituting this in the words and draw the plot in the graphs. Okay. Simultaneously, the third graph is nothing but y equal to tan x in the interval, let us minus 3 pi by 2 comma 2 pi you can take as per convenience, but we are doing like this. Then you get the idea for how to draw the graphs of sine tan x. So let us consider, so explanation of these graphs is exact values you can take, then you get an idea how to solve the graphs. So I am taking an x-axis is x and y. This is the values as minus 3 pi by 2 I am starting and then minus 5 pi by 4 and then remaining is minus pi and then minus 3 pi by 4 and then minus pi by 2 and then minus pi by 4 and then 0 and now positive values pi by 4, pi by 2 and 3 pi by 4 and then pi and then 5 pi by 4 and 3 pi by 2 and then 7 pi by 4 and then 2 pi. How to draw the graphs means I am doing like this way. How to get the values means plotting the graphs like this model. So take the x and y axis. The values of tan of minus 3, tan 0 first. Tan 0 is 0. Tan pi by 4 is tan pi by 4, which is y equal to nothing but tan x. In the place of x, you substitute tan pi by 4. So tan pi by 4 is 1. Tan 90 is already infinity. And then tan 3 pi by 4, that is 3 pi by 4 value is nothing but minus cot theta, that is minus 1. Tan pi is 0. Tan pi by 4 is 1. And tan 3 pi by 2 is infinity. 7 pi by 4 is minus 1. Sin tan of 2 pi is 0. And simultaneously negative direction, this is minus 1. And then it is goes to minus infinity, and 3 pi by 4 nothing but minus of minus tan theta, that is positive. Tan pi is minus 0, that is tan of minus pi by 4 minus 1, and this is minus this, so infinity. So the values can apply this. So 0 and then pi by 4 and pi by 2 3 pi by 4 and then pi 5 pi by 4 3 pi by 2 and 7 pi by 4 and then 2 pi. This is on x-axis. This is on y-axis. So here also say minus pi by 4, minus pi by 2 and then minus 3 pi by 4 and then minus 5 pi by 4, then minus 3 pi by 2. Okay, first take the infinities values. So that is infinity values nothing but wherever you got the infinity, minus pi by 2 and then 3 pi by 2 and similarly minus pi by 2 and then also minus 3 pi by 2. So draw these lines as imaginary lines, whereas pi by 2 is there. So draw the graph as minus pi by 2, and same thing as 2. 3 pi by 2 nothing but infinity. So draw the graph infinity means draw the as imaginary lines. Imaginary lines like that way, same thing as to minus pi by 2. Okay. And minus 3 pi by 4 minus 3 pi by 2. And then minus 3 pi by 2. So now draw the graphs plotting the points. Tan 0 is obviously 0. tan pi by 4 is, here take the value as 1 and here take the value as minus 1. Tan pi by 4 is, so that is tan pi by 4 is 1 and tan of, and then pi by 2 is infinity, and then tan of 3 pi by 4 is minus 1 and tan pi is 0 and tan pi by 4 is 1 and 3 pi by 2 infinity, 7 pi by 4 is minus 1 and 2 pi is always 0. And similarly this value is flatting. Tan minus pi by 4 is minus 1. And then tan pi by 2 is infinity, tan 3 pi by 4 is 1 and tan pi is 0 and minus pi by 4 is minus 1. Okay, now join these graphs, the lines. So these are imaginary lines, but don't touch the lines with the graph. And similarly this is the line also. And this is also same. So this, by observing these values we can observe some idea to write in the next page. So y equal to tan x. So it is discontinuous at, the graph is always not continuous graph. So it is discontinuous. So every pi by 2 values, minus pi by 2, 3 pi by 2 and minus pi by 2 plus pi by 2, minus pi by 2, minus 3 by 2. Okay. All the real numbers are there but not defined it is values. So y equal to tan x, then it is said to be, it is discontinuous graph at x equal to, the values we can observe at x equal to every discontinuous at pi by 2, 3 pi by 2 and minus pi by 2, minus red marks Nana, red marks, that is every minus 3 pi by 2 and then minus pi by 2 and then pi by 2 and 3 pi by 2 or etc. And the next second point we can say that it is passing through the origin. It is passing through the origin. And the graph of the values is always the y equal to tan x. So this is for finding the domain, nothing but y equal to sin x by cos x. Now it is in the form of f of x by g of x. Then cos x should not be equal to 0. Therefore, the cos x should not be equal to 0, nothing but the odd multiples of pi by 2. So therefore, domain can be written as domain of f of x y equal to tan x is, so this value can be minus, that is odd multiples nothing but 2n plus 1 into pi by 2 where n belongs to z. So every cos x can be defined odd multiples of pi by 2, but it is in the denominator, then the domain can be, should not be 0 denominator. That is why we can subtracting from the r minus of odd multiples of 90, then it is goes to r minus of 2n plus 1 into pi by 2, n belongs to z, that is the domain of f of x. So but what about the range means, we have to observe. So range is, this is the most important things. So that is all real numbers it can take, all the real numbers. But in this, the red lines are there now, that is not, red lines are not defined. So the piece range is all the real numbers except tan pi by 2 and tan of minus pi by 2 and then tan of 3 pi by 2 and tan of minus 3 pi by 2. These are all not defined. That is, red lines are there. So it's red lines. That is meaning that it is infinity. These are not defined. And then its periodicity nothing but same graph it is repeating. So that is meaning that every pi radians the graph is repeating. Same graph is up to this part same. And pi by 2 to 3 pi by this is also pi. Every pi unit the graph is same. So that is called the graph is repeat over and again, that it is said to be periodicity. So the graph of the tan x is periodicity is pi, whereas sin x and cos x periodicity how much, Nana? That is periodicity of cos x is nothing but we can say that every 2 pi unit the graph will be same. Every 2 pi unit, this is the graph. Same thing as to up to this is to same. Every 2 pi unit the graph is same. And similarly the third point here also with the periodicity. So periodicity nothing but the graph, so every same loop. So up to this same graph and then 2 pi to 4 pi and 4 pi to 6 pi. So the graph of the values is becomes to same. Therefore, it is said to be every 2 pi units the graph of the periodicity of sin x is 2 pi and simultaneously cos x equal to 2 pi. Tan x is nothing but pi units. So this is the value for periodicity and the graph is it is passing through the origin. It should not be domain is nothing but r minus of 2n plus 1 into the values of these values. And next goes to the next graph is cosine x is there, secant x, cosine x graph we will write now. So same thing as fourth one, y equal to cosine x. Let us take some values on this also same. So minus pi in the interval I am taking minus 3 pi by 4 and minus pi by 2 and minus pi by 4 and then 0 and it is also pi by 4 and then pi by 2 and 3 pi by 4 and pi and 5 pi by 4 and 3 pi by 2 and then 7 pi by 4 and then 2 pi and 9 pi by 4 I am taking and lastly 5 pi by 2. So sines cosine to 0 nothing but 1 by sine 0. 1 by sine 0 is 1 by 0 nothing but infinity. And in sine cosine pi by 4 nothing but cosine pi by 4 is 1 by sine pi by 4. So 1 by sine pi by 4 is 1 by root 2. 1 by root 2 nothing but root 2. And 3 pi by 4 nothing but 135. Okay. 3 pi by 4 nothing but 135 degrees. 135 degrees nothing but cosine of 90 plus 45. Cosine of 90 plus 45 nothing but secant 45. Secant 45 is nothing but root 2. So that is sine pi by 2 is 1 and cosine of 3 pi by 2 is 0. Sine pi is 0 nothing but 1 by 0 infinity. 5 pi by 4 nothing but 225. 225 is 180 plus 45. 180 plus 45 nothing but minus cosine 45 that is minus root 2 and then it is 3 pi by 2 is minus 1. 7 pi by 4 also minus root 2 and 2 pi is infinity. 9 pi by 4 is root 2. 5 pi by 2 is 1. By taking the calculation then you get the answers, Nana. Minus pi by 4 nothing but minus root 2 minus 1 and then it is minus root 2 and then it is also infinity. Okay. Like this way you can get the values. Now join the graph. So 0, then it is pi by 4, pi by 2, and then 3 pi by 4, and then pi, and 5 pi by 4, 3 pi by 2, and 7 pi by 4, then 2 pi, 9 pi by 4, and 3 pi by 2, 5 pi by 2. And simultaneously this side minus pi by 4, and minus pi by 2, and minus 3 pi by 4, and then minus pi. So first draw the infinity values. Infinity values nothing but treat as the imaginary lines. So that is you get as 2 pi units. So every pi units infinity nothing but we can draw it as the draw natural imaginary lines. And similarly infinity nothing but every 2 pi even multiples of pi the value is getting as to infinity, and similarly this has to minus pi, okay. And then draw the plotting the graph. Then let us take the value as 1, and then here I have to root 2 maximum, and then it is minus 1 and it is minus root 2. So tan pi by 4 nothing but root 2, pi by 2 is nothing but 1, 3 pi by 4 is root 2. So joining of this, then the joining of this, like this, and then simultaneously pi by 5 pi by 4 is minus root 2, 3 pi by 2 is minus 1, 7 pi by 4 is minus root 2. So join this graph, then you get like this. And next one, 9 pi by 4 is root 2, and 5 pi by 2 is 1, and the next point is like this. From this also we can join up this, and simultaneously left hand side. So minus pi by 4 is minus root 2, minus pi by 2 is minus 1, 3 pi by 4 is minus 3 pi by 4. Okay, like this. From this we can observe that y equal to the graph of cosine x, y equal to cosine x. So that is, it is discontinuous graph at the point x equal to 3 pi, and then 2 pi, pi, 0, minus pi, minus 2 pi, and minus 3 pi. That is meaning that every n pi for all n pi it is becomes to discontinuous. Okay, it is not passing through the origin. It is not passing through the origin. So and also we can observe that does not lies between does not lies between -1 and 1. It can observe Nana first figure piece. Does not lies in the interval -1 to +1. +1 and -1 there is no value in that. So above 1 and below to -1 values are present. Therefore it does not lies in the interval. So that my period is nothing but the period is equal to every 2 pi unit the graph of the value becomes to same graph, and it is also a odd function. It is also a odd function. Okay, and the domain of the function is cosine x. Cosine x can be written as 1 by sin x. 1 by sin x nothing but sin x should not be equal to 0. So sin x should not be equal to 0, nothing but domain of the function is r minus every n pi. So x should not be equal to n pi. Sin pi 0, sin 2 pi 0, sin 3 pi 0, nothing but r minus n pi where n belongs to z. So this is the value for n belongs to every integers. Okay, and the range is nothing but it should not be lies in the interval -1 to +1. Therefore the range is always -infinity to -1 close union 1 to infinity. Okay, so this is a odd function. Why? Because and it is odd function. Why? Because it is a sine of cosine of minus x is minus cosine x. By checking the f of minus x, f of minus x nothing but minus f of x, it is an odd function. If it is f of x equal to plus f of x, it is a even function. Therefore it is a odd function. And simultaneously tan x is over. Similarly last 2 points are there, secant x and cot x. Just 2 graphs, rough idea I will give, then I will close the graph. Tomorrow onwards I will take all the class and join your class also. I will join up with JM1 and JM2, then I will take the class. If you are not interested to listen the class now, that's why tomorrow onwards I will only take the class by joining with the class with JM1 and JM2. Okay, inform to your friends. So next one, fifth one, y equal to cot x. Same thing as to sin x. So let us take the values. This is the basic ideas. So they are not listening. Okay. So that is x and y axis. So it is also cos x by sin x. Cos x by sin x nothing but this is also cos x. X is not equal to multiples of pi. So it is the domain of the function is nothing but r minus n pi. Why? Because sin x should not be equal to 0. That is r minus n pi, where n belongs to z. So it is also a decreasing graph will come. So the points, so let us take the values as pi by 2 and pi, 3 pi by 2 and then 2 pi and then 5 pi by 2. And similarly this is also take the values for minus pi by 2, minus pi, minus 3 pi by 2 and minus 3 pi. These are all basics now. Just once you have to learn. Afterwards you can. So I will write the remaining points, red line, that is tan of every pi by 2, every pi, tan pi, cot pi is 0. Okay, that is why every pi units it will be 0. So that is why red lines I will do. Every pi units, that is the value, it becomes to 0. And 2 pi. And similarly this is minus pi. This is minus 2 pi, 2 pi. Here we can draw as 2 pi only. Why? Because doing that tan pi is 0, tan 2 pi, cot 2 pi is 0, cot pi is 0, cot minus of minus pi, cot of minus pi is 0, cot of minus 2 pi. That is imaginary lines. So let us tan pi by, cot pi by 2 is obviously, take the values Nana here, plus 1 and minus 1. And then here and minus 1. Tan pi, cot pi by 2 is 1. So it is goes through like this. So, and then and cot of minus pi by 2 also like this 0. So it is the value. So values are nothing but decreasing function, and range is, domain is r minus n pi, and the range is, the value is all values it can take, that is real value. Then it is said to be decreasing for graph. Cortex is decreasing graph. And the last one is secant x. Sixth one, y equal to secant x. Cosecant is over, then light. So secant x. It is also does not lies in the interval minus 1 to plus 1. That is the line it is becomes to y equal to 1. And same thing as to y equal to should not be lies in the interval y equal to minus 1. And every pi by 2 is, so write are the values, some x on x-axis, this is x-axis, this is y-axis. So this is pi by 2, some values you can take. Secant pi by 2 is obviously, the value is nothing but, draw the imaginary lines. And 3 pi by 2 also you can write. It is 1 and it is minus 1. Secant 0 is obviously 1. So that is to write the graph is to itla. So secant 0 is 1. So let us take this is why, because 0 means secant 0. Secant 0 is equal to 1. So it is passing through the like this. And similarly secant pi is minus 1. So draw the graph is like this. Here minus 1 nothing but it is passing through the minus 1 value. And similarly secant of 2 pi, secant 2 pi plus 1. So that is secant of minus pi. This is minus pi. This is minus pi by 2. This is minus pi. Secant minus pi nothing but minus 1. Like this. This is minus 5 pi by 2. So it is also does not lies in the interval minus 1 to plus 1. Okay. So then it is the values are to be domain of y equal to secant x. So domain is nothing but, so 1 by cos x. Cos x is nothing but cos x executes the value is cos x equal to 0. If it is, should not be 0, but x can take the values every odd multiples of 90, then 2n plus 1 into pi by 2. So domain of the value is nothing but r minus 2n plus 1 into pi by 2, where n belongs to z. And the range is nothing but minus infinity to minus 1 and union 1 to infinity. It is does not lies in the interval minus 1 and plus 1. That is why only the values lies in the values above the minus 1 and plus 1. So the range is always in the includes minus infinity to minus 1 and 1 to infinity. Okay, this is the graphs of these values. So this is the most important topic. So afterwards we will have remaining problems onwards. So this is the basic points you have to get. It is the even function. So secant of minus theta is secant theta. Then it is an even function. It is an even function, and the secant of minus theta is secant theta. So domain is and range is, and then it is also period is every 2 pi units, that is the graph will be same. So it is reliable to, or we can write this as to r minus of minus 1 comma 1 also we can write it. Cot x is nothing but it is an odd function. Cot x also you can write as odd function. It is an odd function. Period is equal to pi. Every pi unit the graph is same. So then it is said every pi unit the graph will be same. That is it has to be periodicity. So that is the value. So like this we can draw the table form to find out the problems is very important for in the examination. For graphs only we can say that the values. I will draw the graph. Box type every problem, that is the function is f of x, and then we can write as periodicity afterwards. Domain of the find, most important domain, and then it is range, whether it is a function is even or odd, nature, and the functions is nothing but sin x, and then cos x, then tan x, and then cot x, cosecant x, and then secant x. So sin x domain is obviously real number. The range is always minus 1 comma plus 1. It is lies in the interval. And cos x domain is always r, and it is range is minus 1 comma plus 1. And tan x is nothing but it cannot be defined as sin x by cos x. Cos x nothing but 2n plus 1 into pi by 2 is every value cos x becomes to 0. That is why r minus of 2n plus 1 into pi by 2, where n belongs to z. So this is the value for tan x domain, and cot x is every n pi multiples where n belongs to z. So r minus n pi. So simply we can say that as r minus n pi also we can write. Okay. And then cosecant x is nothing but also same 1 by sin x. 1 by sin x nothing but r minus n pi. secant x nothing but r minus of 2n plus 1 into pi by 2. 1 by secant x, that is y. So it is range is nothing but both sin x and cos x is same. Tan x is always r and it is cot x also r, and cosecant x graph is we can followed by it is does not lies in the interval positive and plus 1 and minus 1. That is meaning that up to covered by does not r minus minus 1 and plus 1. It is denoted by minus infinity to minus 1 union 1 to infinity. Simultaneously secant x also same, minus infinity to minus 1 union 1 to infinity. And then it is right to be as nature. First you write nature and then periodicity. So nature is nothing but sine of minus theta. If it is f of x equal to minus f of x equal to f of x, then it is even function. If f of minus x equal to minus f of x, then it is odd function. That is the basic idea. Now substitute sine of minus x is nothing but it is obviously odd function. That nature is odd. And then sine of cos of minus x is cos theta. That is cos x is equal to even function, and tan x is nothing but odd function. Tan of minus theta is minus tan theta, and then it is also cot of minus theta is minus cot theta, then it is odd function. It is also odd function, it is even function. So periodicity nothing but every 2 pi unit the graph is same symmetrical about the x and y axis, then it is the length of the total length of the sin x graph repeat over and over again, then it is periodicity every 2 pi units it is same. So the periodicity nothing but the function is f of x is 2 pi, simultaneously cos x also 2 pi, tan x is pi, and cot x is also pi units. Every pi unit the graph will be same. Cosecant x also every 2 pi units is same, and cot x secant x also 2 pi units is equal to same. These are the basics. First learn how to get the value. That is why I am explaining all those. Okay, if you are not interested to listen the class, tomorrow I will join up with JM1 and JM2, all those mix up with points. Tomorrow I will explain the remaining concepts. Okay, thank you Nana, right.